one who has been battered by the damage within your shores. Australia, I would not sell you for a price. I would not strip you of your forests or pollute your clear blue skies. I would not desecrate your sacred lands. I would not plunder on your shores. I would not foul your precious waters, for I am your native born.
Hi there, people in the community who care about Australia's wildlife and a beautiful environment. The Greens do too, and we need your help. I've just been successful in getting a Senate inquiry up, which will look at the effectiveness, or the lack of effectiveness, of threatened species protection in Australia. And it will include looking at the record of state governments on this issue, because obviously both the federal government and the state government have a role in regulating to try and protect species. Now, unfortunately, those regulations have not been working because we've seen the threatened species list triple in the last 20 years. And we've had eminent people like Professor Tim Flannery in the latest quarterly essay say that we're on the brink of a second wave of extinctions. So we have all the evidence we need to show that biodiversity is in serious decline, and we need to do something about it. So finally, the Senate is going to look into this issue, but we need your help. We need submissions from you, people in the community, experts, environment groups. Doesn't matter who you are, we want to hear from you, and we need to hear why you think Australia's wildlife is important. Perhaps you've got a particular species that you're particularly fond of, or perhaps you can share with us an example of how a protection mechanism hasn't worked, or a local species that's been sent to extinction, or perhaps a development that's been allowed to go through even though it was in really important habitat. Your perspective, whatever it is really helpful to inform senators who have the ability to make change to our laws and actually make a difference to try and protect our wildlife. Now, you might know the federal government is looking at this issue, but they're wanting to make the laws even weaker. And unbelievably, they're wanting to give away their powers to protect wildlife, threatened wildlife, to state governments. Those same state governments that have sent beautiful creatures like the koala almost to extinction in southeast Queensland, where I'm from, and that are on track to send the leadbeater's possum in Victoria to extinction as well by logging the last of its habitat. So we've already seen that state governments have a terrible track record on the environment, and in particular on biodiversity conservation. That's one of the terms of reference of this inquiry, and that's something that I want you to highlight for the other senators. We can't trust the states with biodiversity protection. Their track record is terrible. The federal government needs to do better. And instead of simply weakening federal laws, the federal government should instead be strengthening and protecting our wildlife through our laws. So they're the sorts of things that I'd love to hear from you. You've got until the 14th of December. So it's not a lot of time. Now, your submission doesn't need to be long or complicated. Whatever you can share with us will be really helpful, and it will demonstrate the community sentiment out there that says, you've got to do better, parliamentarians. Australians want their wildlife protected. So please write a submission by the 14th of December. You may well get to give some evidence in January or February, and we'll be reporting back in late February, right before this deal to hand off powers might go ahead unless we can stop it. So the more submissions we can get really will help us do everything we can to stop that handoff of powers, and will really demonstrate that Australians want their wildlife better protected, not just written off and palmed off to state governments. So we need your help. Please, 14th of December, share your views and help us get better protection for all of the wonderful, iconic wildlife that Australians just love. Thanks, everyone.
I am just one who has been battered by the damage within.